I was scrolling through Instagram and I had saw a post on someone's story, and I had to go and look on Google to see if what was posted was true. Because sometimes you'll post something up on social media and it may be a parody or something fake, but turns out this was indeed true. This is Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. I've talked about him before a couple weeks ago when some comments he made pissed a lot of people off. Well, if you thought what he said a couple weeks ago made people mad, this one's going to make them infuriated. So, this Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Dan as I call him, has decided to double down on the comments that he made. Now he's saying that we need to take the risk to get back to work. There are more important things than living. If anybody had to second guess what is the God to these palm colored individuals, especially those with his mindset, money is their God. Point blank, period. This guy is saying there's more important things than living. Dan will not be one of the ones to sacrifice himself. He wants to see this thing through to the end. But let me go ahead and read this article coming from Newsweek, who was criticized last month for saying it was worth risking lives to return to work if that meant saving the economy, has doubled down on his comments. Dan Patrick, who turned 70 this month, faced a social media backlash in March for telling Fox News that many of his generation were willing to take a chance and return to work because an economy that was shut down by the virus would harm future generations. Now notice, he said many of his generation. He's not including himself in this. He says, I'm willing to sacrifice those of my generation as long as I'm not the one in the sacrificing. As parts of Texas started to reopen this week following weeks of restrictions, Dan Patrick defended his comments on Monday, telling anchor Tucker Carlson again that the recent economic hardship had left him vindicated. There you go. His pockets is bleeding right now. That's what it's all about. I told you, money is their God. When you start shutting down society and people start losing their paychecks and businesses can't open and governments aren't getting revenues, I'm sorry to say that I was right on this, he said. I'm thankful that we are now beginning to open up Texas and other states because it's been long overdue. This also comes with a very, very strong privilege hold that he has probably had for so many years that he couldn't even. This shows you right, and I actually saw this as a comment. This virus has shown the weakness of American society as a whole. They couldn't even last a month without. I'll say that again. This has shown the weakness of the American society as a collective. Could not last a month without. And I'm mainly talking about those higher ups right there. I'm surprised more windows haven't opened up yet and bodies have leaped and fell to the ground. Questioning the shifting projected death toll over the last few weeks, he believed that we have the wrong numbers, the wrong science. Of course, he would say that. Comparing the death toll in Texas with its population, he went on to say every life is valuable, but 500 people out of 29 million, and we're locked down and we're crushing the average worker, we're crushing small businesses, we're crushing the markets, we're crushing this country. Using data from the Texas Department of State Health Services, the Texas Tribune reported that as of Monday, the death toll in the state stood at 495 with 19,458 positive tests. Patrick went on to say there are more important things than living, and that's saving this country for my children and my grandchildren and saving this country for all of us. Now pay attention to that. Saving this country for my children and my grandchildren, as in his family. Notice he put his family before the American society. He didn't say saving this country for all of us. He said for my family and my grandchildren and my children, and that's it. Dan Patrick, I don't know if he realizes, but he's literally telling us what type of person, what type of shitty person he is. But you know what? At the age of 70, he probably doesn't give a damn. But we are now seeing what type of person he is. And I don't even know the guy. I don't want to die. Well, unfortunately, we all got to go someday. Nobody wants to die. But man, we got to take some risk and get back in the game and get this country back up and running, he told Tucker Carlson Tonight host. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has announced a gradual reopening of the state. Although all schools will remain closed for the rest of the school year, state parks will reopen, although there will be restrictions on group sizes and face coverings will be required. Abbott said that starting Friday, he thought retail stores should be able to offer retail services where people would be able to pick up products with minimal contact with others. While health officials warn that states should not reopen businesses too quickly for fear of a spike in cases, some governors across the country are starting to announce timelines to ease restrictions. Last week, 45 announced guidelines that would allow governors to take a phased, deliberate approach to reopening their individual states. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I said, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick of Texas, he's letting y'all know what he thinks. But the truth be told, many others feel the exact same way, but they won't come out and say it. Many of them are being real PC with it. At least he's being very open and honest. I can give him that. I can respect that. He's very overt with how he feels and what he wants. He says that there's some things more important than dying. And then he goes on to say, we have to do this for my children and my grandchildren. Then he went on and put everybody else afterwards. Like I said, money is their God. This man is losing it right now. He's at his breaking point. Not saying that there aren't others, because I'm sure there are many others, but he's the only one that's being extremely vocal about it. But I'm glad he is. Like I said, I like when they're out in the open and they don't sugarcoat nothing. More should be like that so we know exactly who the hell we're dealing with here. Like, this guy's willing to sacrifice anybody just to get his money back up and running. His money, mind you. He's talking about his own personal economy. I bet you, if his personal economy was not affected by this virus, he would not be coming out here saying we need to reopen up the economy. He would be good. That's the type of person that he is. This shows you right here that America, quote unquote, the quote unquote United States of America is not so united. It's very much divided. It is a lot of people who are just out here for themselves. And this virus has proven that. This virus has proven a lot and shown us a lot. It showed us how the Chinese get down when it comes to black people. It's shown how greedy people really are, even though we've already known that, but we see it on full display now. And we really see how everyone is out here for themselves. There really is no unit. It's literally now a dog-eat-dog world. Like, that's an old saying, but it definitely applies now. Every person for themselves, pretty much. As a collective. I'm not saying everybody, but as a collective, yeah. And Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick of Texas is proving that. This guy is 70. He says he doesn't want to die. The man he's ancient. He's in ancient territory. But he's letting you know how he is and how he feels about this situation. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on. And I will talk to you in the next one.